continues over Wayanad landslide tragedy. Congress MP Jairam Ramesh has now moved a privilege complaint against Union Home Minister Amit Shah over his claim that early warnings were given to the Kerala government ahead of landslides in Wayanad. Shah had also claimed that the Kerala government did not act on the warnings. Now, before we move forward, let's hear what Amit Shah said during his address in Rajya Sabha on the 31st of July.
अर्ली वार्निंग बोलते ही गए। मैं सदन के सामने स्पष्टता करना चाहता हूं, 23 जुलाई को केरल सरकार को अर्ली वार्निंग भारत सरकार की ओर से दी गई थी। 23 जुलाई को 7 दिन फिर 24 को गई, फिर 25 को गई, 26 तारीख को मान्यवर ये कहा गया कि 20 सेंटीमीटर से ज्यादा वर्षा होगी, भारी वर्षा होगी, लैंडस्लाइड होने की संभावना है, मड भी रस होकर आ सकता है और लोग इसके अंदर दबकर मर भी सकते हैं। मगर भारत सरकार की अर्ली वार्निंग सिस्टम पर सवाल किए गए, इसलिए मैं कहता हूं प्लीज लिसन अस, मत चिल्लाइए, प्लीज रीड इट।
Leveling serious allegations, Jairam Ramesh in his letter mentioned that Amit Shah misled the Rajya Sabha with his statements regarding early warnings of landslides in Wayanad. Jairam alleged that Shah's claims were fact-checked and proved to be false, which undermined the integrity of parliamentary proceedings. Congress MP said such misleading statements could amount to contempt of court and called for privileged proceedings to be initiated against Shah. After Jairam Ramesh's privilege notice against the centre, government sources have revealed a detailed report on the warnings. They claim that the Indian Meteorological Department issued a heavy rain forecast for Wayanad region, predicting significant rainfall from 29 July to 30th. The IMD also provided an impact-based forecast using color codes to indicate the severity of the weather conditions. Sources further said Geological Survey of India issued a landslide warning on 29 July at 2 p.m. However, the landslide occurred around 2:17 a.m. on the 30th of July, leaving ample time for precautionary measures to be implemented. Now, sources also emphasized that the state government was responsible for executing safety measures and argued that despite clear warnings, necessary precautions were not taken by the state government. Now, INDI bloc member DMK has hit out at the centre for blaming the Kerala government for tragedy without doing its due work for the state. Listen in.
In situation of calamity and disaster, the BJP government has always tried to blame the state governments without doing its due work. Not only in case of Wayanad, where there are different versions from the state government and the union government. When the floods happened in Tamil Nadu sometime in December last year, the BJP behaved the same way. So this is not the time where the BJP should involve themselves into politicizing and putting the blame game on the state for not doing enough.
A little bit of a political debate as well, whether the centre had informed the state and the state didn't take necessary precautions when the weather went bad. Is that something that you?
I don't want to get into the politics of it now.
Yeah.
I think both sides have spoken for themselves.
Yeah.
As you say, the centre has said they've done certain things, and the state says that the information given was not adequate.
Okay.
So let's assume that that this is an issue that can always be adjusted.
Tetri is joining us in the broadcast with more details. Tetri, more voices coming to fore, hitting out at the centre, saying that what the centre is claiming and what Home Minister Amit Shah said are not the actual facts. On the other hand, sources also claiming that there was adequate time for the state government to prepare themselves and issue warnings on their part, so that this tragedy would not have been on such a large scale.
Well, absolutely, and this debate started when Amit Shah claimed that early warnings were given to the Kerala government on Wayanad landslide, and that the government did not pay attention to it. And also then we saw that Jairam Ramesh had given out a privilege motion against Amit Shah, and in fact he moved this privilege complaint on Friday, and in fact has said that the statement that was made by Amit Shah is completely false, because Amit Shah had also claimed that the Kerala government did not act on the warnings, and also he refuted the claim that was made by Jairam Ramesh. But now, as we see the politics clearly happening on whatever is happening in Wayanad, on one hand BJP is saying that they have alerted the government, but the government did not act accordingly, and on the other hand Congress saying that BJP is just playing politics to gain their vote bank, and that they did not alert, and that is why they moved privilege motion in the parliament.
All right, thank you very much, Tejasri, for getting us the details. So the state governments and the INDI bloc leaders responding say that the centre is trying to pin blame on the state. We're moving on now. The relief and rescue in Wayanad is proceeding with no let-up. Over 330 people are confirmed to have lost their life in the disaster, and the agencies involved are having to deal with all the issues, the challenges from bad weather to the threat of epidemic. We've been reporting non-stop from the epicenter of the landslides. Here's what has been happening.
Thanks to the Bailey Bridge that has been built at Chularmala, heavy machinery, earth movers have been able to reach Mundakai. And not just that, a lot of rescue personnel carrying a lot of equipment that could cut through debris have now come here to one of the worst hit areas. This entire village nearly has been washed away by the flash floods because of the landslides, of course, that happened. The landslide tip, of course, is very close to where I'm standing, and you can see all around as my video journalist Pradeep is going to show you these pictures. It shows the vast devastation and the destruction that this landslide has left behind. Right now you have forces from the army, from the fire and rescue of Kerala state. You also have the NDRF and volunteers who are working day and night to try and identify if anybody has been trapped. Predominantly now, since 3 days have passed, it is a search for mortal remains so that it can be handed over to the families who are right now at relief camps, who don't know where the family members are. At least handing over a mortal remain would mean that they can conduct final rites at least. But up until now, while of course search operations have been conducted over the last couple of days, first of course manually and then using earth movers, they've been able to get over 20 mortal remains. All around, of course, you see even beneath where I'm properly standing, there possibly is a home. And these earth movers are helping, of course, channel out the water, move out the debris, and possibly find any more people who could be still trapped inside. Sniffer dogs as well are being pressed into action. So it's an extensive operation that's currently underway here in Mundakai. The Sarang chopper of the Indian Air Force here coming out to Chulalmala right next to the Bailey Bridge that has been constructed, carrying out a recce operation. They are looking at the possible need for medical supplies or any other essentials, be it for anybody who could still be trapped in the forest area or around the landslide region, or even for the rescue personnel. They have also here, of course, showing the prowess of this particular chopper, of course, built by HAL. It is an indigenous helicopter, and more importantly, of course, showing its capabilities of hovering in such difficult terrains, landing as well. So this chopper right now, after conducting his recce, going back to base and will be around here for the people when and however they need it. What the mission is here for the Indian Air Force?
We are here doing for HDR mission, and we are doing our good effort. We are giving our proper effort to give the medical supply and food supply over there. If any medical help and any emergency cases is here, we are it now. So we are here to just give the medical supply and food supply over there.
Okay. I have an officer here from the Coast Guard, Mr. Sameer, who joins us. Sir, आप बता सकते हैं कि ये कौन है, किसने आइडेंटिफाई किया है कि ये जो आदमी है ये वाटरफॉल के पास है, उसका सिचुएशन क्या है अभी?
ये ऑपरेशन कोस्ट गार्ड और केरला फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट ने कैरी आउट किया है। सूचीपारा वाटरफॉल्स के नीचे से हमें 3 बंदा मिला हुआ है, उसमें से एक बंदा चलने का हालत में नहीं है। उसके हम कोस्ट गार्ड एयरलिफ्ट करने का प्लान में है।
ओके, तो 3 लोग थे, तीनों जिंदा थे और 2 लोगों को आपने ऑलरेडी इवैक्यूएट किया है?
तीनों जिंदा है, उसमें से एक बंदा चलने का हाल में नहीं है, उसका एयरलिफ्ट करने का प्लान में है कोस्ट गार्ड।
उधर जाने का रास्ता क्या है? सिर्फ ट्रैक करके ही जाना है?
ट्रैक करके ही जा सकता है। फॉरेस्ट टेरेन है, लैंडस्लाइड जहां से शुरू हुआ उसी एरिया पे।
ओके, क्या प्लान है कोस्ट गार्ड का? किधर से एयरक्राफ्ट आएगा, क्या एग्जैक्टली बता सकते हैं?
कालीकट से एयरक्राफ्ट आ रहा है, प्रोबेबली उसको एयरलिफ्ट करने का प्लान में है कोस्ट गार्ड।
और ये भी बता सकते हैं कि ये क्या रेसिडेंट थे यहाँ के या कोई रेस्क्यू पर्सनल थे? क्या कुछ डिटेल है आपके पास?
ये वो रेस्क्यू पर्सनल है
जो लोगों को बचाने के लिए गए, वो
बचाने के लिए गए, वो फंस गया, वो लोग।
പിന്നല്ല, ഏത് സ്ഥലമായാലും ഇമോഷൻ ഒരുപോലെയല്ലേ, തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും. പക്ഷേ നമ്മൾ മുകളിൽ പോയി കാണുമ്പോഴാണ് ഇതിന്റെ വ്യാപ്തി മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോഴും വളരെയധികം ചെളികൾ കൂടിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടോയെന്നൊന്നും അറിയില്ല. ബട്ട് നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാവരും, ഇവിടുത്തെ വോളണ്ടിയേഴ്സ് ആയാലും ഭക്ഷണം കൊടുക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരായാലും ഇതിന്റെ പുറകിൽ പ്രവർത്തിച്ച എല്ലാവർക്കും അതാ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞത്, നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടത് ഒന്നും നമുക്ക് തിരിച്ചെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഇനി മുന്നോട്ടുള്ള അവരുടെ ജീവിതത്തിനെ നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ മെച്ചപ്പെടുത്താൻ പറ്റുമെന്ന് നമ്മൾ തന്നെയാണ് ആലോചിക്കേണ്ടത്. നിങ്ങൾക്കും ആലോചിക്കാം.
So there are multiple challenges for the personnel on ground who are working round the clock tirelessly, rescuing as many people as possible, providing help to those who have been stranded, airlifting those who have been injured and cannot on their own, of course, travel from one place to another. And meanwhile, there are visuals coming in of the mass destruction and devastation that can be witnessed on ground due to the two major landslides. Amidst all this, we saw Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi visit the affected areas, which has also led to massive political face-off between the Congress and the BJP, with the BJP asking why is it that Rahul Gandhi went there after 3 days post the landslide, post the tragedy, post so many people were killed. So the blame game also continues on the issue. Let's also shift our focus to what's happening in Himachal Pradesh. Severe rainfall continues to wreak havoc there as well. Times Now crew is on ground getting you the latest development. Take a look.
यहाँ बादल फटने की वजह से, भारी बरसात होने की वजह से कई रोड बह गए हैं। नेशनल हाईवे के भी कई हिस्सों को इस बारिश ने तबाह कर दिया है। लेकिन हम एक ऐसी लोकेशन पे हैं जो स्ट्रेटजिकली सेना के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, जहां पर मैं खड़ा हूं। मेरे दाहिनी तरफ सेना का 117 ट्रांजिट कैंप है, लेकिन उस ट्रांजिट कैंप की तरफ जाने वाला जो रोड है, जो नेशनल हाईवे से टच होता था, वो पूरी तरीके से बह गया है। आप देख सकते हैं रोड का एक हिस्सा पूरी तरीके से गायब है और यहाँ पर जो यातायात है वो पूरी तरीके से ठप है। इसलिए सेना के तमाम जो अधिकारी हैं वो यहाँ पर लगे हुए हैं और सड़क को ठीक करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, क्योंकि स्ट्रेटजिकली इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस बहुत ज्यादा है, बॉर्डर के बहुत नजदीक है और किसी भी स्थिति में यहीं से सेना की मूवमेंट भी होती है। तो आप देखिए बारिश ने कितना कोहराम यहाँ पर मचाया है। बहुत तेज गति से पानी यहाँ पर बह रहा है और ये जो रोड है ये दरअसल इस पुल से कनेक्ट होता था जिस पर हम खड़े हुए हैं। इस पुल को भी काफी नुकसान हुआ और आप यहाँ देखेंगे पुल के नीचे बड़े बड़े जो पत्थर हैं यहाँ पर वो आकर फंस गए हैं, जिसकी वजह से पुल को भी कुछ नुकसान यहाँ पर हुआ है। हालांकि पुल की अगर हम बात करें तो पुल फिलहाल सुरक्षित दिखाई दे रहा है।
Search and rescue operations has been entered into day 3, so now NDRF is using new techniques to detect either the bodies or the victims if they have stranded or stuck somewhere in village Samej. So you can see that these are the machines, these are the live detectors machines that has been now brought here down nearby the river, and in fact now the NDRF and Indian Army teams will cross the river on the other side where the debris are quite visible, and these machines will be used. These machines will be used and in fact try to retrieve the bodies from that location. So see, now the technical search and technical rescue has been started by NDRF on day 3, and even the manhunt has already been on with their equipments. And I request my camera person to kindly pan around the camera to show you that a temporary footbridge has also been created by the Indian Army yesterday, and in fact just to cross the river on the other side. The left bank will be searched technically with the equipments and with the manhunt, and the teams are ready here. The NDRF teams wearing life jackets and in fact the Indian Army teams having their equipments in their hands. They will be crossing the river and the other side of the river. The left bank of the river is quite visible, having some kind of debris, and under that debris there was a houses, damaged houses, and in fact now the teams will search there also, just because on right bank has already been searched. So technical search will start today itself. JCB has already landed nearby, and this live detector test, I show you that how it works. So these are having the 6 sensors which actually detect the movements of alive people, their sounds, their movements, and their other senses also. So there is a remote control which is being explained by the experts, by the team members of the NDRF team, and in fact they are giving all kind of information. They are checking the sensors before putting this machine into the operation, and they have their cameras, they have their traceable things. These are the 6 detectors.
With that, we're swinging into a short break, but news and updates will continue. Stay on with us.